All right, before we take you to our reporter in Vhembe district, let's give you a quick live update from Malelane in Mpumalanga with SABC News Reporter Tumelo Machogo, who joins us for the very latest updates. A very good afternoon to you, Tumelo. So talk to us about the latest in flooding in Malelane. How are the rain conditions also at this stage? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, in Malelane there has not been any flooding as yet, but we understand that Nkomazi area has been flooded with a number of roads there already being destroyed, but also with a number of houses that have been destroyed. People's houses are waterlogged and people are afraid, Alicia, to actually just get out of their houses because they are afraid now their houses are also going to start collapsing because of these rains that have been pouring. We are actually right on the Crocodile River. This river just on the other side, that's where the Kruger National Park is. That's where the park has already been shutting down. A number of camps, a number of roads, and also a number of gates have already been closed in the Kruger National Park. But here also, as a fear also with like water, especially that water that is going to start rising because there are communities that also live along this riverbank, and especially tourist attraction areas and also guest houses that are in this area. They might be starting to getting water into their houses because they are quite close to the water and they are quite close to the river here in Malelane. Because of this rain that have been continuing, the water keeps rising and rising and rising, and that's the fear now that's going to be here, and especially with businesses that are going to end up being suffering because this will actually have like a huge impact on businesses. But let's now bring in the chairperson of the business chamber here in Malelane, Mr. Mel Predi. Mel, just talk to us about, is there a fear now that this water will continue rising and then businesses in this area will start suffering because already tourists are not coming because of the Kruger Park saying that they have closed some of the gates and also not advising people to visit the park?
Yeah. So I don't think there's major concern. We've been monitoring the river quite carefully along with the water or irrigation boards and the farmers in the area. I think the peak was yesterday and it's been slowly settling down. I'm quite sure downstream some of the rivers, especially the Crocodile Bridge, that was flooded badly yesterday, but looking at the river here, we can probably assume that bridge is also starting to appear again. So from experience, we're not particularly concerned about the Crocodile River itself. Most of the inflows from the side, from the De Kaap River and from the Nels River, those have peaked already, and we're already seeing the effect of those flows here. And we're not too concerned. We're not taking our eye off the river yet, but at this point in time, we're quite optimistic that we'll be avoiding the pain and disruption that some other areas have been experiencing. Komatipoort, downstream here, there's been a lot more rain there than there has been here, but that has affected, there's a lot of water on the roads, but it's not rivers rising or anything. That's pretty much running through to Mozambique, and they're feeling the impact more than we are.
Also, if you can also talk to me about, obviously, the farmers, this is like a lot of water, and already sugarcane farmers, they might be happy, but other farmers, they might not be happy with this lot of water, especially on their farms, especially now that the harvest time is about to approach.
I think we're fortunate from the farming side that it's currently maintenance season, so nobody's harvesting sugarcane. On the other side, most of the orchard harvests have completed, the mangoes, lychees and so forth. There are still some on the trees, but the citrus harvesting season has yet to start. So I think this is possibly the best time this could have happened. We can't live without rain, we need it, and the direction we should take from what's been happening is how do we prepare ourselves to receive these rains and the benefits that they bring without suffering too much. So there's a lot of infrastructure lessons and so on to be taken from here. Some things you can't manage, other things you can, and I think there has to be a balance found somewhere from a planning and development perspective.
And also, what is their fear now for the communities that live, especially downstream when you go to Matsulu and all those kind of things, because obviously the crocodile will also start getting out of the water?
So I've heard there are a lot of people from Matsulu that work in town in this area, and I have been told of a number of incidents where crocodiles in particular have come into gardens close by, but they're fleeing the water. They're not after prey. So crocodiles, hippos, the banks are quite steep there, so the animals can't rest on the banks. They have to get up to level spaces. And obviously that's where the people have built houses. So there are some interactions between the wildlife and people, but it's not nearly as intensive as it would have been in some previous floods, which have been a lot higher.
So people won't be eaten by crocodiles?
I would be more concerned about the crocodiles, for them to be eaten.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much. That was Mel Predi talking to us about the situation here in Malelane, where the water actually rose yesterday, but they're saying that it has subsided. But there is the worry that if the rain continues, the rainwater again might again, the levels of the water might again rise again, and then also bring damage, especially when it goes to further down into the stream.
Thank you so much for that update. SABC News reporter Tumelo Machogo live to us from Malelane.